T7M Radio brings to you the best of 7 sports talk with 7 Mitchell.
Yes, sir. This is the best of 7 sports talk here on T7M Radio. This is 7 Mitchell. Callers, y'all call up 347-989-8102. Joining me as always, we got the Devil's Advocate, my co-host out in Carolina. We got J.O. in the building.
Yo, what's good? What's good?
Oh, man, we are lit. We got so much to talk. It's time. It's going down. The best podcast, sports talk on air. The best of 7 sports talk here on T7M Radio, man. We got a full plate and Phil Jackson being so disrespectful to the king. Let's get right into it. Phil Jackson, in an interview with ESPN's Jackie McMullen, made a statement while we visited LeBron James' departure from the Miami Heat to Cleveland Cavaliers back in 2014 and what it meant for the tenure of the Heat's president, Pat Riley. According to Phil Jackson stated, it had to hurt when they lost LeBron. They was definitely a slap in the face, but there was a lot of little things that came out of that. When LeBron was playing with the Heat, they went to Cleveland, and he was want to spend the night. They don't do overnights. Teams just don't. So now Coach Spoelstra has to text Riley and says, what do I do in this situation? Pat Riley has to respond, you are on the plane. You are with this team. You can't hold up the whole team because you and your mom and your posse wants to spend an extra night in Cleveland. According to Phil Jackson, he also stated, I always thought Pat had this really nice vibe with the guys, but something happened here where it had to be broken down. I do know LeBron likes special treatment. He needs things his way. LeBron James, J.O., responded to these comments by Phil Jackson. Here was a little bit of LeBron James' response today in a locker room.
To use that label, and if you go and read the definition of what the word posse is, it's not what I've built over my career. It's not what I stand for. It's not what my family stands for. And I believe the only reason he used that word is to see young African Americans trying to make a difference.
J.O., was Phil Jackson's comments about LeBron James' posse and special treatment out of bounds?
It's kind of hard pressing me to take LeBron's side because
what else is new?
You know, I don't have a whole lot of respect for Bronny, but
wow, you're so. How do you be so disrespectful? Wait a minute. This is how we're going to start the show off with. You don't have no respect for LeBron. This is how we're going to start your response off with. Really, you're worse than Phil Jackson.
I have minimum respect. I'm not going to say I have no respect for him. I have very minimum.
J.O. Bayless is now entered the building.
Here we have 11-time champion in Phil Jackson. So Phil Jackson can basically say whatever he wants to say on nearly any particular subject. LeBron, the diva that he is, seems to think can't nobody critique him, criticize him, or have an opinion on him because he literally thinks he's the king. Posse, I can understand. I can see where LeBron felt like that was disrespectful because LeBron is trying to run a brand, and his brand, he's trying to run a professional brand. You calling his professional team a posse, that's like devaluing the brand. Maybe early in LeBron James' career, maybe it was more like a posse, but now since he's been in the league for about 13, 14 years, you know, it can be considered disrespectful. Depends on how you look at it.
Phil Jackson, first of all, needs to be concerned only with this anemic defense that we have playing in New York. That's number one, first and foremost. I have no idea why he decided to comment so in-depth about 2 teams that he never even, was responsible for, with the Miami Heat nor the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I will say this. I'm not going to say that Phil Jackson comments are out of bounds. And, J.O., you made a valid point about LeBron James, the business aspect, but I do not want to lose sight. And let's be clear. I have seen a certain trend of athletes, entertainers, especially black entertainers, black athletes. When a white person makes a statement or a phrase or use a word, catchphrase that we say or use every day, all day, all of a sudden, it's a problem. Now, I'm pretty sure Phil Jackson have used the word posse in so many different conversations, possibly in his career. I mean, 11 rings. He did it with Kobe. He did it with Shaq. He did it with Michael. He did it with Rodman, Pippen. I definitely don't feel like this is a racial thing. I think this is just something that Phil Jackson felt like saying, like he felt like, okay, I've said this before. I've heard this in conversations plenty of times. What's the big deal? And I think that LeBron and company is trying to capitalize off of that. You know how we can call each other nigga all day, every day, but as soon as we hear a white person say the word nigga, we go off. So there's a double standard in my opinion. You do make a good point because LeBron is trying to keep it business. So I understand that. But let's keep it a buck as well. I didn't think it was a big deal. And I don't think Phil Jackson's comments were out of bounds. I just think he was out of bounds for even speaking on two organizations that he really doesn't have any involvement with when my team, the New York Knicks, can't even get over 500.
See, the proper word probably to be used in that situation is entourage. It's not that Phil Jackson is a racist or whatever, or his intentions was racially motivated. The thing that LeBron is bringing out for awareness is maybe Phil didn't realize it, but if he see a black group of young males, he thinking posse. He may not think, consciously that might be a racial term or somebody may take it that way. It just, LeBron would rather be his so-called posse be called his businessmen.
No, I appreciate LeBron James taking a stance for his team. You don't want that type of characterization displayed on any group of young black men that's actually trying to do things and not actually doing things. So I get LeBron's point. You know what I mean? You don't want to let it go under the table, under the radar. Let's try to put a stop to it now. And it just like you said, Phil Jackson could be just stuck in his ways. I felt like this word probably been used many a times. What I do have a problem with LeBron, with this whole, I don't have no respect for Phil Jackson now. I have zero respect for Phil Jackson. This is where the diva thing comes into play with LeBron. This is the thing that rubs me the wrong way when it comes to LeBron James, and this is where I feel like they are trying to capitalize off of this situation. I mean, LeBron James just less than 6 to 8 months ago been called a bitch to his face by Draymond Green.
Which is crazy.
They didn't make a big deal out of that.
I just want to know why is Phil Jackson talking about LeBron James in like the third week of the NBA season. I'm like, why? And why hasn't he even made an apology or a statement or something that was clearing up what he was talking about? Like, why does he have the arrogance to be like, I'm not going to say anything about it right now? If he try to make a statement week from now, it's like, what's the point?
Well, according to reports, Phil Jackson, he has not yet responded directly to LeBron James' comments, but also in the same interview with Jackie McMullen, Phil Jackson has stated that he regularly meets up and reaches out to Carmelo Anthony, who's, of course, a close friend to LeBron James, and, wanted to address some issues. Carmelo Anthony said he doesn't think that Phil Jackson meant to use the word posse in a racial connotation, but he also didn't want to speak on Jackson's behalf. So I definitely respect Carmelo, not trying to play both sides of the fence. I just don't think that it was a big deal. I do appreciate LeBron James stepping up to the forefront, acknowledging that he has a problem with it, and, you don't want to allow people to put that type of, title on us, especially after the elections. Everything is real sensitive right now, so I understand that. But for you to say you don't have any more respect for one of the greatest NBA coaches of all times, I think you're really jumping out of the window.
Let's put this in perspective, though. If he really think that he made a racial comment, then he don't have to respect him. But, do we really know? Do you think LeBron is calling him a racist? Well, what is he trying? He's not being specific of why he don't have respect for him.
Well, I don't think that he's trying to call Phil Jackson a racist, but I don't think that he feels like Phil Jackson is showing any respect of, not just him personally, but just a group of black men trying to be successful or being successful. I don't think Phil Jackson was doing that. Like, Phil Jackson is so... I mean, he's very intelligent. I've never met the man, of course, but I'm just saying from the outside in, you get the feel that outside of Phil Jackson being very intelligent, knowing his X's and O's, Phil Jackson been around the block twice. I mean, he's won the championships as a player. He's probably one of the coolest cats to be around. You understand what I'm saying? So his lingo, his language, I mean, it's probably something you can get with. I just think LeBron James and company took this opportunity to capitalize off of it, you know, and it's really I'm not going to say it's not a big deal, because big picture-wise, I don't want people calling, you know, us posses and all that. I mean, it definitely is played out. But, I mean, we use words like this all the time, and I do not want to see the double standard. We've always had the double standard when it comes to white people saying certain words or using catchphrases that we use. I've never been with that.
Yeah, I'm just glad the awareness is out, because even and a lot of people, probably mostly black people, probably would have never considered that a racial term, or not necessarily racial, but stereotyping. And, you know, when we sat there and really thought about it, we were like, yeah, that does kind of make sense, just like with the Kaepernick thing. When people really, the awareness was brought, we're like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So I'm happy that word could be omitted when referring to black, you know, males trying to do something positive. You know, people will think twice and probably really look deeper in the situation. So, you know, salute.
When we come back here on the Best of 7 Sports Talk, T7M Radio, we got to talk America's team, Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys. Don't go nowhere. Here on T7M Radio's the Best of 7 Sports Talk. We locked and loaded. Don't go nowhere.
Best of 7 Sports Talk with 7 Mitchell on T7M Radio every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 347-989-8102, and follow us on social media, T7M Radio on YouTube.
You see, football is a meritocracy. You aren't handed anything. You earn everything, every single day, over and over again. You have to prove it. That's the way that the NFL, that's the way that football works. A great example of this is Dak Prescott and what he's done. He's earned the right to be our quarterback. As hard as that is for me to say, he's earned that right. He's guided our team to an 8-1 record, and that's hard to do. I think you all know something magical is happening to our team. I'm not going to allow this situation to negatively affect Dak or this football team by becoming a constant distraction. I think Dak knows that I have his back, and I think I know that he has mine.
This is the Best of 7 Sports Talk, T7M Radio. That was the second-string quarterback. You heard it first. The second-string quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Romo, conceding his starting position to the 4th round, first-year new starter of the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. J.O., what was your thoughts on this speech of conceding by Tony Romo?
I thought it was pathetic. I thought it was irrelevant. I thought it was comical. First of all, what else was he supposed to say? People say he has so much class to say that. I'm like, what else can he say? Second of all, why are you having a circus act, Ringling Brothers press conference? And first, you didn't take any questions. If you would have took some questions, I would have took you more serious. How you gonna write a sad letter or something? You could have just came if you want to do a press conference, but to have a letter, all you had to do was look. Dak Prescott has got our team one record. Right now, he has the hot hand. Coach feel like he's gonna stick with the hot hand or whatever, and he's our quarterback for the future and until otherwise. You didn't have to do all this. Dak Prescott is the example of this, and man, I don't even want to remember the words he said in that letter, but I thought it was just another Dallas Cowboy player blowing something way out of proportion to the point where the fans and the media. I mean, look at Tony Romo has never won a Super Bowl in Dallas in 10 years. He only won 2 playoff games.
Did you hear the tears? I mean, this guy.
The sniffles.
You would have thought someone just put the hand of God and just slapped Tony Romo right across his face when he ended the interview with saying, "I have Dak's back, and I think Dak has mine."
Did he really say that?
I mean, I just cannot believe.
This is football. This is football. Guys lose their star position every day.
Every day.
It just shows you how much he's been babied by Jerry Jones. It's like a baby that can't get his candy back.
Well, I will say this. This story is far from over. I had so many debates earlier with some Cowboy fans. Shout out to all the Dallas Cowboy fans out there, by the way. Y'all will take a loss this Sunday. The Ravens are going into Jerry's World. I do apologize, J.O. I thought it was an M&T home game. But we going down to Jerry's World where the Dallas Cowboys have not, through history, played well at home. I know this is a new year, new day. They 3-1 at home. My Ravens only 2-2, but I got my Ravens going down there and doing something criminal with my front seven against Dak Prescott. But I don't think this story over Tony Romo and Dak Prescott, I don't think the story is over, J.O. I don't think the book has been written. I think this is just only one chapter because, as I told you the other day, we are going to expose Dak Prescott, not for who he really is, because we do see who he really is, but the accidents, the mistakes that we've been waiting for, you will see thanks to my front seven in the Baltimore Ravens this week. And that's going to shake the whole story up. So, you know, Tony Romo sitting on a soapbox earlier today, okay. I really thought it was comical because this guy was trying to hold back so many tears. You'd have thought he got released today from the Dallas Cowboys.
You would have thought he retired.
It looked like he retired, like he was really heartbroken. I mean, you have to prove it, Romo, over and over and over again. You have to prove it. You have to get in the playoffs and win.
I don't know, man. Dak Prescott brought that man to tears, man, by winning. By winning football games, he brought him to tears.
Let me ask you this, though, on a serious note. Does it alarm you that Jason Garrett's voice has really not been heard at all in this whole equation?
Within the other organization, I'd be alarmed, but this is pretty much what we expect. I can see if the coach was Bill Belichick or Rex Ryan, somebody that's open, that's outspoken. But we all know Jason Garrett's a mute.
Well, like I said, on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, outcomes are unpredictable in the NFL. But I got my Baltimore Ravens holding it down, pulling it off this upcoming Sunday, 1 o'clock p.m. against the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all cannot miss it. It's going to be crazy. This is the Best of 7 Sports Talk, T7M Radio, with 7 Mitchell and J.O. callers. Y'all call up 347-989-8102. Make sure y'all follow us all over social media, T7M Radio, all on Twitter, SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram. We lit. We everywhere. The best sports talk debate podcast out there. Let's talk a little bit of boxing, MMA, UFC, J.O. Conor McGregor doubled down on his $100 million demand for a boxing match against my guy, Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. The two-weight UFC champion repeated his demands inside a New York City nightclub Tuesday night. McGregor's coming off his historic knockout over Eddie Alvarez at UFC 205 last weekend, J.O. According to McGregor, McGregor has said he had much respect for Floyd. He's a solid businessman. What he's been able to do, he's a fucking animal at what he's been able to do. But as far as real fighting, combat, Floyd don't want none of this. What's your thoughts on this whole Conor McGregor-Floyd Mayweather fiasco, J.O., at this point in the game? Is this something you want to see?
First of all, it's a joke. But if Floyd agrees to fight UFC style, I would love to see that because I want to see him go to sleep or submit. Well, we know Floyd won't get in the cage, so as far as the ring, no. First of all, Floyd needs a rematch with Manny Pacquiao before he can even think about doing this little sideshow circus act.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean he needs a rematch with Manny Pacquiao? He beat Manny Pacquiao.
No, he hit him and ran. you know how you punch somebody in the jaw and you just take off running.
Look,
one of those type of fights.
We're not going to do this every time I bring the best ever up. Where were you at May 2nd last year? Because I was at home watching the fight, and I watched Money Mayweather school Manny Pacquiao 10 out of 12 rounds.
He beat a one-arm handicap man. Come on.
Wow.
He fought a man with 3 limbs. So, I mean, salute on the win, but we want to see a full, healthy, strong Manny Pacquiao. And then Floyd could fight these UFC fighters and do all this WWF, WWE, WCW, ECW bouts.
Look at your man Manny fighting all these journeymen. Come on, man. Manny Pacquiao at this point of the game is pathetic and it's embarrassing. If you're going to be a politician, keep doing your thing, man. Your resume is stamped, it's lovely, but you're not going to be the best ever. You lost to Floyd Mayweather. Just give it a rest. I mean, this is pathetic. And Conor McGregor, man, you trying to get a payday off of Floyd? Nobody wants to. I mean, people want to see this because people want to see Floyd lose. But if you're an actual supporter and a fan of boxing, nobody wants to see Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather boxing. And Floyd Mayweather getting in the UFC, I mean, that's just not even an option. This is just straight public relation to me, and Conor need to give it up.
Well, we all know the fight will be fixed if he do fight McGregor. So I'm not interested.
I'll fight Conor McGregor. Don't worry about it, Floyd.
I'll fight him for a couple racks.
He can split that $100 million. He can give me half. I'll fight his ass. I'll stand there and let him kick the shit out of me.
I'll fight him for a couple racks.
Oh, man. This has been the best of 7 Sports Talk. T7M Radio with 7 Mitchell and J.O. We appreciate y'all locking in with us tonight. Another dope show. This upcoming Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, we back at it with Week 11 NFL predictions. You cannot miss it. I know the most disrespectful one, J.O. is going to have some of the most outside-the-box picks in the NFL when it comes to the matchups this week.
Best of 7 Sports Talk with 7 Mitchell on T7M Radio every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 347-989-8102, and follow us on social media, T7M Radio on YouTube.